Jai Shri Rama Pranam. I have a little doubt about the shlok of third adhyay of Bhagavad Gita. It collides with the with the concept of bhakti you explained about Vaidhi and Raga Anurag Bhakti. The shlok goes like Indriyani para adhur indriyabha para manah manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe parasastu sah. It means the working senses are superior than dull mind, and mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind, and the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. And the concept of Vaidha Bhakti, it resembles totally with the intelligence, and Raganurag Bhakti, it goes with the mind. So, how the concept of Bhakti resembles with this slok?
I think you have not understood the Katha. When I said that Raga Bhakti emerges from the heart, not from the mind. There are different levels of consciousness. The mind is at the lowest level. Because the mind is extremely sentient, and that is why God has given us this intellect to control, that we can control the mind with that discretionary power which the mind has got. It not only has a discriminatory power, it has a discretion, the power of discretion, which is called Viveka. And above the mind is the intellect, above the senses is the mind is the intellect, above the intellect is the conscience. So the subconscious, what we say, one is the consciousness and one is the subconscious. So what we are talking about is that love, that is the Swarupa of God itself. He is love incarnate. He is above all of them. So when we connect to the Lord, when we are trying to correct our entire bhakti, our sadhana will start at the level of the intellect, because the mind does not have that natural attraction. So with the intellect we are trying to persevere that path of attaining Godhead. So ultimately the Godhead and Godhood that we want to achieve is through the medium. The mind, intellect is only an instrument. And when we see that our senses, the 10 senses we have, and the mind, when we connect to the God, to the divine power, since He is all beautiful, the mind gets attracted. And as soon as the intellect alienates with the divine, all of them lose, because this is a concept which is an imaginary concept. In the body, we cannot bifurcate where is the mind, or where is the viveka, or where is the ego, or where is your chitta. You cannot say that, because this is a mental, imaginary built up of the inner self. So when we align with the divine, and when we merge, when there is a fusion, then there is absolutely all the dividing boundaries disappear. And it is totally only love that exists. Like we see the fusion, the meeting of Bharata and Ram in Chitrakoot. So when Sri Bharata is coming to invite the Lord to come back, that is his intention, that he has come. And the Lord, they look at as if they are two entities. But the Lord knows, He is all-knowing. He knows that He is coming. And because this is a Leela where the two divine forces are performing, they are showing how the meeting happens. And it is, because we are seeing it through person. We cannot see what is happening at the subtle level. So what we are seeing is at the physical level. And when we are saying that when Bharat comes and he does Sashtang Dandvat Pranam, genuflects at the feet of the divine, then Goswami Tulsidas ji was asked, so Uthe Ram, he says, the Lord rose. And what is the word he used there? Uthe Ram suni prem adhira. The Lord has lost all his patience now. He was trying to control himself till now. But now he has become impatient. And that impatience is not one sort of impatience, is what one experiences in a sense of passion. There also a person becomes impatient. He loses all his controls. And one is that sense of impatience which one experiences at the ecstasy, level of ecstasy of love. That is a different type of experience, it's a different height. We are talking of different levels of experience. So, Uthe Ram suni prem adhira, kahu pat, kahu nishang dhanu tira. So, these are all symbolic, that whatever differentiates Bharat and Ram, because the Lord was adorning, he was wearing clothes, he had his arms and ammunitions, so everything fell apart. And when the two meet, the Lord and Bharat do not have any sense of I-ness. The ego is dissolved. So that is the indication that you are rising above the physical level. That is called videha. When you are living at the body level, at the physical level, then there is where all the differences exist. Rising above the physical level, when we go to the subtle level, that is where the total fusion comes. And that cannot be explained in words. It has only to be experienced. So what I was talking of Raganuga Bhakti is, you see, a beautiful example is of a child. You can understand very easily. The child knows no language. He does not have, because his development, I'm talking of a neonate, just one child. But when the child is picked up by the mother and the mother hugs the child might be crying. But as soon as he gets that experience and the mother hugs him, brings her close to the child, to the heart, the child stops crying. Now, there was no language, there was no expression, but that understanding. What is that understanding? That is called love. It is an experience. And that is the type of pure love that we are talking about. It is not the love which we talk in the Western world, what they call love. That is not a physical love that we are talking about. We are talking of the purest form of love. So that is Raganuga Bhakti, where we do not have to use our intellect, what to do and what not to do. It is happening, it is called by default in computer language, I guess, by default, because that is very innate in us. When a dog, you see, because today's modern generation loves, keeping animals, pet dogs. So instead of loving God, people are now getting used to loving their dogs. Isn't it? That is the present day situation. That their pet dog becomes everything in the world. It is their child, it is their soul, we are soulmates. I see the different types of expression. But the dog doesn't understand any language. He does not know Hindi, he doesn't know English, he doesn't know Sanskrit. But still see the love and the binding between the owner and the dog. What is the language?
Just love.
Love. That means every being wants love. Why? Because in every one of us, each person, we have the divine spark. That is, they're saying Jad or Chetan, innate or inanimate. In everything the Lord pervades. But we are not experiencing Him. So that pervasion, that divine pervades everywhere, permeates through everything. And what is the form? The form is love. And that is why, whether it is a plant, forget animals, even a plant, modern science has now proved it, that if you talk to your plants, if you put some music, the plants grow faster, the quality of the plants improves. Why? That means that it shows that they are so sentient beings. They are not inanimate things as we think. So now modern science and quantum physics, as especially, is now realizing that that particle, that divine particle that is there, they have not been able to find an answer to it. What is that? And that is God. So that divinity which only our Sanatan Dharma has this thinking. No other religions in the world, however they have progressed, but they do not have this insight into the divine truth, what Sanatan Dharma and what Indian culture has. And that is why all of you youth should try to imbibe these moral values. It is very important. We are talking of modernity, and in modernity, today is 31st, and many people, definitely, I don't know what about you all, I want to celebrate this 31st as a as welcoming the new year. At 12 o'clock we say, okay, we are celebrating New Year Eve. But that is not what our Indian thought, the Sanatan thought is. Because our day begins with sunrise. And that is what sunrise means, that demolishing of darkness and bringing light into our lives. And that is the intention of a human being. When we say tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, that from darkness we want to go to light. So how can we celebrate a new year in the night at 12 o'clock? If we have to celebrate it, we want to welcome it as a new day, new year, okay, even if we believe in the English calendar, then also we welcome it with sunrise. That in our life also darkness should disappear, and with the emergence of the sun god, he's called a Pratyaksha Devata, that may light come into our lives and the darkness of ignorance disappears and we evolve. So it is only possible for a human being to evolve. No other species, 84 lakh they say, 84 different lakhs types of species in existence. Science has not reached there. What our Rishi Munis of yore have researched into life at a very, not microscopic level, at a nano level or everything even smaller than that. And they have realized that the soul is continuously on a journey. The soul is a divine spark. He has separated from the eternal source, that is the divine, and we are all a part of the whole. The divine is whole, we are a part of the whole, and from the time we have left the divine, eternal, our Father, we can say, and we are continuously traveling, we are on a journey. And when will we reach our eternal home? When we experience enlightenment. We get that gyan, that is called enlightenment, when all the ignorance disappears. So that is the evolution that we have to go through. So there are different ways. One is the Jnana Marga, one is the Bhakti Marg, one is the Karma Marg, and Lord Krishna in Gita has shown all the different paths to Arjuna. Because when he was lost, fumbling, when he saw that all his elders, all whom he respected, all his gurus from whom he had learned the jnana, and he had to fight against them with the knowledge that they had imparted to him. So definitely he was fumbling, and that would be our state also. That how can you fight your own guru? Or how can you fight your own great-grandfather? Bhishma Pitama was there. So he says, no, I will beg, but I will not fight. And that is where Lord Krishna's instructions came. And that is the sort of direction that all of us need when we are walking on this journey of life. Every time we have to cross 4 roads, we have to cross divisions, and we have to make decisions. And that is why the viveka, the discretion that we need, that what we are doing is right or wrong. We need that morality, that strength, which will come only out of character. When you follow the righteous path, then you will develop that inner intrinsic self, strength. And with that strength, all the odds that will come into your life, because this life is an obstacle race. So obstacles are going to come in your life, and we are going to be prepared for it. That is our lifestyle when we follow this path of righteousness, which we call dharma. So that is the discourse, that the song of Gita, which was sung, Bhagavad Gita. So the Lord describes and defines different paths to Arjuna, and he leaves it to them. He said, Yathekshasi tatha kurum. You decide for yourself. I have told you all the different margas, different yogas, you decide. And then he was fumbling, lost in that ocean of knowledge. Or he said, Buddhir vikuntita natha samapta mamayuktaya. I'm lost. I can't decide what should I do. I do not know what is good for me, what is right for me. And then the Lord said, if you can't decide, if man doesn't make a decision when he has his ego, when he thinks with my intellect I'm too smart, I'll make my own decisions. But when you're lost and you can't, then what do you surrender? To whom? It's your parents, immediate parents, or you surrender to your grandparents. Ultimately, nobody, your teacher, your guide, or the Lord. So the Lord said to him, okay, Arjuna, now you have understood. All the egos lost. He said, Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Surrender, complete surrender. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayikshami ma shucha. No sorrows. You surrender to me. You have complete faith in me. Do as directed. Which we don't. Do we? No. And that is why we keep fumbling. So if your parents tell you what to do, but you will not do, no, I think this is right for me. So that is what obedience. Unless we have that complete trust and faith that my parents, my grandparents, whoever, are my well-wishers. And they know what is best for me. Why? Because they have thrice or 4 times the experience that you have. But today's children think we are too smart. Papa, you are outdated. That's what we say, no? You're too old-fashioned. You're not going to listen to you. That's what we do, right? So we have to first inculcate that obedience, that respect, and only then they will be able to help us. So nobody can help you until you want to help yourself. Isn't it? See, today you have come with a question. I could have given you that answer long back, but you never came. Isn't it? So unless you want, nobody can give you. And if I keep on talking, but if you go away, I will not be able to help you. So you have to be first. Prepare yourself for accepting. And then when that sense of query, that is called jigyasa, comes within you, you want to know, you want to understand, you want to learn, you want to grow, only then you will come and do satsanga. Otherwise you will not come. And that is what Lord Shankaracharya said. Ki satsange, that's the first step. Satsangatve nisangatvam. Nisangatvam means what? That all the negative powers which are surrounding us, which are drawing us, which are pulling us, anti-gravitational forces, all that are pulling us down. We want to grow, we want to walk up, but gravity is pulling us down. So those negative powers which are surrounding us, we have to get over them, get rid of them. So nisangatvam. And when will we get over them and say nisangatve nirmohitvam? That delusionary attraction that we have. Oh, I love my dog. That attraction is there. But if the dog dies, what are you going to do? You're going to keep crying. But he is going to die. And you are going to cry. Why? Because it's a moha, it is your attachment to the dog. So nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischala tattvam, and nischala tattve jivana mukti. So it starts with satsanga. Then you can get that light of knowledge. Okay?